just to refresh my memory, last time we streamed, I announced my retirement because I've now become a golfer. I've now become a golf enjoyer. And while I have been very busy with life, I've also actually managed to play golf 3 times in this time. And my first time I played with a marker, with a referee, with a judge. Because in Sweden, in order to play on most clubs, you need something called a green card, which is basically getting a handicap of 54, for those of you who are golf enjoyers. And I went, it's a play test. It's a play test. You got to go 9 holes and you got to score 18 points. I did that and more. I managed to lower my handicap on my play-in to 39. And so then I got super excited. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I got some talent here. What's going on, Golf Skull? And so I went 2 more rounds and got down to 27 handicap. I love it, but not because of the golf necessarily. Not so much. Like, I love the golf. I love the theory behind it. I love thinking about golf, but I like it because it's a zen moment. You stand there, it's just you, the ball, and the air. And oh my, it's been so good, man, for my brain. And I think, here's what's weird. I never told you guys why I started thinking about golf again. Because last time, like, I would have said, like, okay, I went to the driving range. I'm thinking about, I got a cheap membership at my club here. But here's the thing, guys. My grandmother was a big golfer. And when I went to see her on her deathbed, because she died at home, she had a painted portrait above her head of her taking a golf swing. And that sparked the idea, because my grandmother introduced me to golf something like 25 years ago, right? And I hated it. I was so bad. I had no talent. I hated it. But she took me to the golf course several times. So like 2001, 2002, before many of you were born. And when I saw that picture, that's, I think, what sparked me with the idea that I was going to play some golf again, or at least try it. And I feel like, even though I'm not a religious person, I feel like I am kind of, like she has somehow infused parts of her soul into me now going to play golf. Because I love it, man. I am so hooked. I am even considering, if I continue to play, that I'll do some golf VODs or something like this next summer. Like, I'm even considering making some content, because I think there's a lot of funny things that happen when you play golf. And like, I'm literally considering this. And so, yeah, after today's stream, where I would normally go and drink some beers, today, I'm going to go to the driving range tonight. Because they have an evening opening today. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to hit some balls after I've streamed today. After I've taken care of my dogs and all of that stuff. And then I'm going to have a beer there. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, I'm not saying that I've stopped beering. I have not stopped beering. I'm a beer enjoyer. But yeah, I'm going to probably have a beer there. And I'm really excited about it. The weather today is nice and everything. But PGA? Yeah, PGA one day. No, I mean, I'm 39. I did look up like the latest pro golfer. But literally, guys, I don't know how many play golf in chat. There's probably like one person that play golf in chat, maximum. But I think I can get down to, 9-10 handicap pretty easily. When I say pretty easily, like, it'll take some months, but I feel like I have it in me. And it's really, really weird. I play disc golf. Okay, so we got one golfer. I just recommend it. Like, guys, some of you will think of golf and just think of old people. But seriously, like, if you've never tried it, try it. If you get past the threshold of frustration before you learn how to swing properly, it's great. There is strategy in the game. There is, it's perfect game for gamers. Basically, it's the perfect game for gamers who wants to go outside and do some half fitness stuff. Because it's also like, when you go a full 18 holes, like, that's going to be 1,500 calories burnt if you don't go with a car, if you like push your golf clubs around outside and touch grass. Yeah, no, I promise you guys, like, I don't know, I've had some sort of epiphany, some zen moment in my brain. And I've just enjoyed it. And I think, as I said, we're going to start today off by being kind of podcasty here, because I think it's important. And I think I want to talk about this. But I think these 3 golf courses that I've gone, so the 3 times I've gone out on the actual course and played a full round, I think they were required for my brain. I genuinely think so. I spent time with my brother, who's a golf fanatic. Like my little brother, my youngest brother, he's insanely good at golf. Right? He taught me. He's really good at golf, and it's annoying because he's like 7, 8 years younger than me. You know, he's taller than me. He's more handsome than me, and now he's also a better golfer. And it's annoying when it's your little brother. You know what I mean? But my goodness, like it's been. I've like rebonded with him. I felt like before, I felt like I barely knew him. And now when we've been out and we've been beering and we've been golfing here twice, I feel like, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm so happy. Like I found that connection with my youngest brother again. And that's been really important to me as well. He's also not bald. No, dude, he's got beautiful hair. Just to describe like his level of handsomeness, he has modeled for Calvin Klein in underwear. In magazines and for posters. Like that's the level of handsomeness my youngest brother is. Okay, yeah, he's pretty handsome. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. It's really annoying. No, but it's only me that's bald, so I think maybe maybe it was the milkman or who knows. I don't know. I haven't just been golfing. It's been a relief of my life. But I'm gonna take you back to last week. So, or not even last week, we got Monday today. So I buried my grandmother on Friday. And I was driving down there and I was thinking like, I'm fine. I'm at peace with this. I got to say goodbye to her and everything is okay. And when I got there and I saw my extended family, my cousins that I haven't seen for 10 something years, and I saw all of these people that meant so much to my grandmother's life, I just started crying. And I was crying pretty much on and off, of course, but a lot for the next like 3 hours. It was the heaviest thing, the heaviest real thing. Remove all dramas and social media garbage and hateful people and all of this. Remove all of that from my eyeballs. The hardest real thing that I've ever done. It was so tough. And I was her oldest grandchild. And I didn't realize how much she spoke about me with her friends. Her friends were there, people that I've never met. They mentioned me. They started talking about me. They spoke about things that I didn't know that they knew. And my mother held a speech, and it was at this moment I realized just how much I may have played it down here on Twitch, but I wanna do right by my grandmother and explain this. I went through a family trauma because my dad was an asshole when I grew up, and he basically left us when I was like 10 years old. I've never reflected over this, but my grandmother was basically like an extra parent for me in place of my father for the next 10 years. And it wasn't until my mom started talking about these times or those times that I realized just how much I could always rely on my grandmother, how open-hearted she was. And then, of course, looking at the church and the people that were there, as I mentioned earlier, like my grandmother took care of people. She taught me the definition of human value. She taught me to treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are, where they come from, what gender they are, what skin color they have. Never ever measure a human with a yardstick, which the online social media sphere loves to do. They love to be judgmental piece of shits. But at this point, my grandmother always stood her ground. There were stories that I didn't know and there were stories that I knew at the funeral. But some of them were so close to my heart, where she had this in her where she wouldn't bend the knee just because the society said so, or just because she needed to fit in, or just because it gave her financial success. She never bent the knee. She stood her ground, stood up for her values, protected people. And I'm talking like real protection here. Like she went to war zones when she was a 55-year-old lady with the mantra that they will never kill an old lady, right? You can imagine this woman in front of you, my grandmother. She was like 5 foot tall, the old classic big old lady hair, frail lady. And when she was 55, 60, 70, 65, 70 years old, she would go to war zones and just be there and help aid people with food, etc. And her mantra was, well, don't worry, a Scully will never hurt an old lady. And this is true. This was her life. And I want to celebrate that today. I want to celebrate that going forward. And this is where I think I've leveled up. Because I feel like She taught me most of the things that I know about how to treat people, about how to value people, about friendship, about things that matter, about standing behind your friends whenever they fail, whenever they make a mistake or slip or fall. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You're gonna have their back. And I want to be that person that she was, and I'm going to continue to be that, and hopefully Dylan, we together are going to be those people. But yeah, I didn't realize, and it was so emotional at this funeral, and it really took the wind out of me. It really did. Like when I left and there was the wake and everything, I was just so incredibly, I don't know, tired. I needed to do nothing and just process and reflect everything. But yeah, it was a really, really good time. It was a really sad time, but it was a really good time because it is what it is, right? And I feel like what came out of it was really, really good. The last thing that happened at the funeral that made me absolutely started bawling it or crying was my grandmother has always said, for the past like 20 years that I can remember, every family dinner, everything like this, she's had this song, a Swedish song that she have said, I want this to be sung at my funeral. And everyone's like said, you're never going to die, all of this stuff that you do. And then at the funeral, this song wasn't played. And so at the dinner afterwards, the whole dinner went and people were doing speeches and songs were sung until the last speaker walked up, who was a colleague of my grandmother, who apparently knew me. And she then, I'd said to my brothers, I said, we got to sing this song. And they were like, nah, I don't remember her ever saying that. And I was like, I'm sure she did. But the last speaker, a colleague of my grandmother, walked up and said, now I want us all to sing this song that my grandmother wanted everyone to sing. And we did. And I can't explain the emotional completion that I felt. I can't even put words on it, but it was a thing of beauty, and it ended the whole thing in a very, very nice way. And that was Friday, and then we had the wake, and then I got home, and I just needed to do nothing. I mean, look, what I think is important to me is I'm so fortunate, so privileged to be here to talk to you guys and to have you guys around me. And, whatever you believe in, whatever you don't believe in, whatever you think you know, whatever you think you don't know, I think at the core of everything, to treat everyone with equal mutually respect and to promise yourself to never measure human beings with a yardstick, and to just be there for your loved ones, be there for your friends, have their back, be strong and stand up. Because there's a lot of pressure in the world to do the mainstream thing. There's a lot of pressure in the world to join cults, if you may call it, to be part of something just because everyone else is part of it. We call it critical thinking when people are allowed to think their own way and use their own opinions. And lately, or last 5, 6, 7 years, this has disappeared from the world. It's disappeared because because of the mentality of, if you're not with us, you're against us. Well, I'm here to say this. If there are things that you disagree with in regards of me, that's okay. I'm not going to hate you for it. I'm not going to be against you for it. I actually commend you for it. Good that you have your own opinion. Good that you can think critically. Good that you're not just standing in line with someone else in someone else's candy line. All right? It's important that we stay strong, stand our ground, and also realize that we're going to be wrong a lot of the times. We're going to be very wrong a lot of the times. But that's okay, because we're human beings. And as long as there's this mutual respect and understanding for one another, the world is going to get become a better place, where extremists are not in power. Where extremists do not get to shout and scream and burn cars and, be horrible to other human beings. It's important that we stop being so polarized in the world. I really think so. And I want to carry on my grandmother's legacy of being caring and taking care of people. I don't know how much I've said about this on stream. I'm sure I've mentioned it at some point. 5 years ago, when Ukraine was invaded, or 4 years ago, sorry, my family took in a Ukrainian family that were fleeing the war. And, they came here and they couldn't speak barely any English. We couldn't understand each other. I remember getting them phones and getting them clothes and all of this. And I don't know how much of this I've shared, because I like to keep these things a little bit private. But that family are now doing so good. And they came to the funeral. They were at the funeral to honor my grandmother, who was a big part of this, taking this family in and helping them get settled in Sweden and all of these things, and making sure they were okay. They were there. They were crying more than anyone, and it was a beautiful thing to see, and and to meet them again. I haven't seen them for like 3 years now. And to see them again, and to like it was a good time, man. It was a good time. And I'm sorry that I've been gone for the full 2 weeks. Look, when I cleaned up my grandmother's house, I'll be honest, like I came back and I was like, okay, I can stream on the Thursday. I came back on the very morning. I'd driven back 4 a.m. in the morning, so I was here at around 7. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go golf round. So I went on a golf round. It was 32 degrees. And I'm a fat man. Like, I'm a fat man, and that's hot for me. That's warm for me, right? And 32 degrees Celsius, which is like, I don't know, 98, 100 Fahrenheit. I don't know, 105. I don't know. But it was hot. And I was done with the golf round around 12. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll go shower and then I'll get ready for my stream. I went showered. Then I sat down on my sofa to just, after shower, you just gotta cool down a bit. And I fell asleep. I was very, very, very tired. So I and I felt so bad. I woke up at like 7 p.m. and I felt so bad. I was like, oh crap, I missed the entire day. But then I had to go. So I had to drive that evening to get to the funeral in time because it was 5 hours away. So I woke up, I drove all evening, and then I went to the funeral on Friday. And I think that sleep that I had, the fact that I fell asleep, I think was really, really important, because I think if I would have streamed and then gone in the car, I might have fallen asleep at the wheel, because I didn't realize how tired I was in my body, how tired I was in my soul after the 7 days or so of cleansing, or cleaning out my grandmother's house of all her stuff, all the memories, all of these. I don't want to think about it because then I'll get teary. So it's been 2 weeks. I was naive. I should have said from the beginning, let's just take 2 weeks off. See you guys Monday, 18th of August, whatever. But, I love this so much. This is what I want to do every single day. And so I'm just trying to be honest with you guys when things change.